The ongoing conflict with Karen and the HOA escalated to an almost cinematic confrontation when she blocked my path at the farm entrance with her luxury vehicle, believing that physical obstruction and intimidation could assert her authority. What she failed to recognize was that her assumptions about control, influence, and power were fatally flawed. In response, I drove my armored vehicle straight through her car, a decisive and legally calculated maneuver that underscored the consequences of arrogance and overreach. The morning began with routine inspection and operations around the farm entrance. The gates and access points were under careful surveillance, ensuring smooth passage for staff, vehicles, and visitors. Karen arrived unexpectedly, positioning her luxury vehicle directly in the path of my convoy. She blocked access with precision, expecting that her vehicle alone, combined with her assumed HOA authority, could halt movement and assert dominance. Karen, true to form, dialed emergency and called on officers to intervene, claiming obstruction and asserting that my presence violated HOA rules. Officers arrived, expecting a standard property dispute, only to find a situation far more complex. The armored vehicle I drove was fully registered, legally permitted for farm use, and equipped for operational security. Karen's assumptions about authority and control collided directly with lawful preparation and strategic positioning. As Karen stood beside her car, gesturing and demanding compliance, I calmly assessed the situation. Her position was aggressive but entirely predictable. Her arrogance had made her overconfident. With clear legal documentation of right-of-way, operational authority, and vehicle registration, I executed a measured yet decisive response. I drove the armored vehicle straight through the path of her obstruction. Importantly, this action was controlled, calculated, and conducted in a manner that avoided injury while clearly asserting authority. The impact was symbolic as well as practical. Karen's vehicle was pushed just enough to remove the obstruction, and she found herself physically and publicly humiliated. Every onlooker, including officers, neighbors, and staff, witnessed a clear demonstration of authority in action. Preparation, foresight, and lawful execution could neutralize even the most audacious and aggressive attempts at interference. Karen's reaction was immediate and chaotic. She dialed emergency repeatedly, shouted instructions to her entourage, and attempted to assert authority verbally, but her claims were rendered meaningless by the visual and legal reality of the situation. The officers, recognizing the legitimacy of my actions and the excessive overreach by Karen, refrained from intervening. Her assumption that blocking access could enforce HOA rules had been decisively invalidated. Throughout the day, Karen attempted to recover her perceived authority. She organized her HOA supporters, attempted to rally legal arguments, and sought administrative remedies. Each effort failed, hampered by precise documentation, operational clarity, and the public nature of her repeated failures. The armored vehicle incident became a focal point, a vivid illustration of the consequences of arrogance, ignorance, and unlawful interference. To ensure the lesson endured, additional measures were implemented. The farm entrance was further fortified with monitored gates, access points secured, and surveillance systems enhanced. The incident also served as a precedent. Any future obstruction or interference would meet a similarly decisive, controlled, and lawful response. Karen's repeated failures had created the perfect opportunity to demonstrate that authority is exercised strategically, not assumed through intimidation or obstruction. By evening, the entrance was calm, operations uninterrupted, and Karen had retreated, humiliated and powerless. Observers noted the pattern. Repeated interference, especially when combined with arrogance and misjudgment, leads inevitably to failure and public exposure. The armored vehicle, calm and secure, stood as a symbol of preparedness, lawful authority, and the consequences of attempting to challenge strategic power without knowledge or preparation. This incident reinforced a critical principle: authority exercised lawfully, strategically, and decisively cannot be undermined by arrogance, obstruction, or entitlement. Karen's repeated miscalculations and assumptions had once again resulted in public humiliation and operational disruption for her association, while lawful authority and strategic foresight prevailed. By nightfall, the farm entrance was secure, the armored vehicle parked, and the lesson unmistakable. Intrusion, arrogance, and misjudgment invite consequences that are immediate, precise, and unavoidable. Karen's attempt at obstruction had failed spectacularly, providing yet another chapter in the ongoing saga of law, strategy, and accountability.